threat of severe weather now in Missouri with thunderstorms developing quickly this afternoon. I'll show you those in just a moment. But in the meantime, we have some good news in your tropical update. And to tell you about it, here's Dr. Steve Lyons.
Well, thank you, Jill. And we do have good news. The good news is Mitch is now a tropical storm. And we can see here in the Atlantic Basin that we don't have anything to worry about but Mitch right now. We do have a big mid-latitude storm out here. If you're going up there off Nova Scotia, watch out there. But here's Mitch down here. It's been downgraded to a tropical storm, and here's the latest as of 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Still near Limon, Honduras. It's overland. The upper level outflow is not good at all. As a matter of fact, it's turned somewhat counterclockwise, which is a negative influence as well. It's nearly stationary, which is still bad news, because even though the winds are weak, that rainfall is just really going to be a major, major problem. We still have tropical storm warnings up all along the coast, and you can see those warnings. They're basically from Honduras all the way up to the northern point of the Yucatan Peninsula here. And we do have a hurricane watch up along the coast of Belize. That is in anticipation of, in fact, if the storm were to move just offshore a little bit, it could temporarily intensify into a hurricane and produce hurricane-force winds along the coast of Belize. Right now, it's not moving at all. It's sitting over land, and it's slowly spinning down. But as we look at it on the satellite imagery here, you can see a continued area of very, very cold cloud tops, bands continuing to pour rain over these higher mountain areas, and also over Nicaragua down here to the south. They're getting hit routinely by heavy rain as well. So the flooding is not just in Honduras, but also Nicaragua. Now, of course, Belize is getting some heavy rain as well all the way up the Yucatan Peninsula. So this remains a major threat to life and property, especially in Honduras with the rain and the flooding. And keep in mind, most people lose their lives from water, not from wind. And especially in a system like this, where it's weakening rather dramatically, we still have the threat of flash flooding, mudslides, and very, very hazardous conditions there. We can see on the visible satellite imagery, the overall circulation size is rather large. So we hope it stays overland. It doesn't come back over and have a chance to come out. We expect it to just meander along the coast here very, very slowly, drift very, very slowly off to the west-northwest over the next 72 hours. It currently poses no threat to the continental U.S. at this time with its very, very slow motion. We can see it still remains a major marine hazard. There are very large waves out here across the northern Caribbean Sea, still on the order of 20 feet, maybe up to 25 feet in local areas, and some very high surf along the coast of Belize and upwards up the Yucatan Peninsula, and of course right along the Honduras coast as well. They're still getting hit very hard by high surf and surge. And we can see here the circulation center right down here near Limon, right on the coast, but definitely over land. Upper level circulation not doing too well at this time. So we're in good shape there. The rest of the tropics is quiet as we would expect this time of year. Now let's get back to Jill Brown and weather across the U.S.
All right, thanks, Steve. Back at home, we have really pretty quiet weather for most of the country, but there are always some exceptions, and that is today here in Missouri, where ahead of this cold front, we're starting to see more thunderstorms develop. We also will be watching this storm system, which will be more of a rain and snow maker, we think, through the Rockies tomorrow. It's kind of starting off slow, but it'll kick into action in the next 12 hours or so. So St. Louis up to, let's see, Burlington in Iowa, about Peoria, Quincy certainly. You have the threat of severe weather, and there's where our watch is. So you can see in the yellow indicated a severe thunderstorm watch, meaning the biggest threat today is likely to be strong winds, maybe large hail, and that's in effect until 8 o'clock local time. So let's get a look at the latest radar here, and you can see the thunderstorm starting to develop. Now look around Springfield. Some pretty intense thunderstorms actually, and we do have some warnings. Logan County and Maynard County in central Illinois, a severe thunderstorm warning until 4 o'clock, so just about another 5 minutes. The cell's moving east-northeast at 30 miles per hour, and large hail and damaging winds is what's expected with these thunderstorms. St. Louis, you be on the lookout for severe weather because thunderstorms are developing here to your west on Interstate 44, some heavy downpours. And around Columbia, we also have a few thunderstorms. So it's just starting to fire up one line of thunder showers. And we think we'll be talking more about severe weather through this evening. We'll also get a look at your forecast into the weekend. We'll find out what's coming up for Halloween. Stay tuned for Weather Center.
Mitch is downgraded to a tropical storm but continues to bring massive flooding to the western Caribbean. Its potential path and impact on the U.S. just ahead on Weather Center.
The revolutionary Smart Hitch system from Boss lets you put a plow on your truck in as little as 30 seconds. Now, to be honest, it's possible to put our competitors' plow on a truck in the same amount of time. The Smart Hitch system from Boss Snowplows. It's about time. You'll find the Smart Hitch and the entire line of Boss Snowplows at better dealers everywhere.
Trimmer users, if you're tired of handheld trimmers that strain your arms and back and are so frustrating to use, here's great news about the original revolutionary DR trimmer on wheels. Now there's an all-new smaller DR that's perfect for every homeowner. The new DR Sprint has the same easy-rolling big wheels design as its bigger brothers, but it's a third life.
This is Storm Watch. It's 51 minutes now after the hour. I'm Dave Schwartz. Coming up next, by the way, is Weather Center, where we'll find out what your Friday looks like. Let's start off in the tropics here, and it's been so heavy to talk about this hurricane that's just stalled out over Nicaragua. Fortunately, it's a tropical storm now, but don't get your hopes up. Since it's stationary, it's dropping tremendous amounts of rain on areas that are already so flooded that the calamity continues here in Central America. Attached to, at least around the north side of it, is an old frontal boundary that extends all the way up to, well, almost Greenland. Big old center right in here. Another area of low pressure. That's going to make it very windy again in New England and the Northeast here tomorrow. Well, let's get back down to the tropics. This is the only thing in town. Elsewhere in the tropical Atlantic, pardon me, all is quiet, I'm glad to say. There have been some persistent showers, however, in the Virgin Islands and the Leeward Islands. But this, you can see the swirl to it. This is Tropical Storm Mitch. These are the latest data from the National Hurricane Center. 50 miles per hour now. This was declared a hurricane late Saturday night. And it went about as far as any hurricane can go, 180 mile per hour maximum sustained winds at one time earlier this week. Now it is weakening, but as I said, the big problem now is not wind, obviously. It is persistent rain. Nevertheless, tropical storm warnings remain in effect for the whole north coast of Honduras, including the Bay Islands here, and then the very tiny coast of Guatemala, all of Belize, and the Mexican state of Quintana Roo, where Merida is, and Cancun is, and Tulum is, if you're familiar with some of those resorts. And a hurricane watch is in effect. The other was a tropical storm warning. This is a hurricane watch because there's the chance that since the center of the circulation is so close to the coast, if it were to edge out over water and intensify, it could become a minimal hurricane. So here there is a hurricane advisory. But the worst damage has been done here already. It's really not the wind. It really is the water. Initially, the water that came in off of the Caribbean, swamping many islands and coastal areas, and then the tremendous rains. And not only here in Honduras and Nicaragua and parts of Guatemala, Belize, and the Yucatan, but here on the Pacific side. Can you see that? Tell you what, we'll color enhance this satellite in. Look at that. Look at that. Perhaps the heaviest rain is going on right here. When you consider that we have an area of low pressure right in here, and the air is swirling in. By the way, you see everything swirling around in a counterclockwise fashion, cyclonic fashion. That means that this thing is really weakening, and it is not likely to intensify anytime soon, even if it were to get out over water. But consider the flow in this way toward the center. That is an onshore flow, and there are mountains right here, volcanoes, high mountains. So there's an upslope flow, and there are tremendous flooding rains down here in El Salvador and Point South. So this is a problem for several Central American countries. Will it have an impact on our weather here in the United States? The answer is no. If you're asking me about Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and probably Monday. The only chance would be early next week or the middle of next week, and that's a slim chance at that. So we're okay through the weekend. High pressures in control over the Gulf Coast, light winds, and relatively calm seas. The problem area tonight is right here, in association with a warm front that cuts across Iowa, Illinois, and Indiana. There have been some severe thunderstorms here tonight. They're all moving eastward, while another storm is getting cranking here in the west. We'll tell you how that will affect Friday next.
Mitch loses its strength but not its fury as massive flooding hits Honduras. Find out where this tropical storm is headed next on Weather Center after your local forecast.
God is in control.
Presenting Songs for Life.
Your praise to the Lord. Come on, everybody.
Get Songs for Life, the best contemporary Christian hits on 2 CDs or 2 cassettes for just $12.99.
There's a bridge across the great divide. I get on my knees.
Then audition other Songs for Life albums. There's no minimum to buy. Cancel anytime.
I must be like future generations.
Feel the power. Get Songs for Life today. Call now.
Call 1-800-533-2772.
Watch is sponsored by Walls. A look at our latest satellite picture out of the Atlantic. Let's show you what's going on as we detail the tropical update. Here's the Atlantic Basin, which shows the blow-up of clouds.